So I think a lot of people have probably seen the videos that we've done. Still reintroduce Brian. So Brian and I got together a handful of years ago, 2021, when you had symptoms and had been diagnosed with ALS. One of the more common questions I get is supplements, and what supplements do we typically use? Most people know I'm not a big fan of supplements. I find that people can have all kinds of liver congestion from too many supplements. You're a guy that has a history of fatty liver that preceded motor neuron disease. So for me, I try and get really, really selective in things. On your side, you are, aside from a survivor and recoverer of ALS, and an author. Brian's a wrestling coach for a long period of time. So you're an athlete. I get that everybody can see that by now, looking at Brian and seeing that he's an athlete. And so a lot of the things that I use to strengthen muscle for the folks that we treat with motor neuron disease, but also outside of that for athletes, are things that you're familiar with, just in different combinations. And the reason, again, we're doing this video, probably one of the most common questions I get, what type of supplements do we use? Again, most people know that I'm not a big supplement fan, but there are a couple things that for me become important. And for you, they become a mainstay. We put them on board when you were symptomatic with motor neuron disease. You continue to use them as an athlete. I started using them for athletes even before getting involved on my side with motor neuron disease. You want to talk about them?
Yes, 2021 in September, late August, I started with the MitoBoost, and I've been taking it ever since. I got off of it for about a month, 3 weeks to a month, and I noticed a big difference. I absolutely love the product. I swear by it. All the other, pre-workout things do not do what MitoBoost does. The MitoBoost that I enjoy so much, it gives me energy, but it's the sustained energy where I don't go up and down. Where I take a pre-workout and I just crash. After this, it does the job, and I stay even keel all day as far as my energy is concerned.
Okay, I will do the geek out part of this conversation by just kind of explaining how I got to that combination and why it's so effective. First of all, when I was looking at motor neuron disease, and separate from that, healthy folks that were athletes, I did a lot of research on NAD. That form of B3 or nicotinamide has been used for longevity. It's been used in neuroinflammatory disorders. There are a number of reasons that NAD, particularly IVs, have been used, or NMN as well. And so interestingly, there were a couple of studies that looked head to head at caffeine and the benefits of caffeine, also for muscles and in motor neuron disease. And anybody that's an athlete out there, if you've been taking pre-workout, chances are you've come across caffeine. What I don't like, and what you were just describing, I do not like the up and down of caffeine. And I don't think muscles like it. And I don't think nerves like it. And so the question was, could we stabilize caffeine so it's a slow release, 6 to 8 hours on average? And then could we as well add other ingredients that muscles require or really optimize muscle performance and nerves? And so you're really looking at kind of a two-punch approach. One, to increase blood supply to muscles with a stabilized, slow release caffeine. And so what that's going to do is it's going to allow ingredients to keep getting over there for an average of 6 to 8 hours. So long after the workout, but muscles still need a lot of those ingredients, you continue to have that. And then separately, a group of some very, very effective ingredients that help muscles either after a workout, or for anybody that's dealing with a debilitating neuromuscular or muscular condition like motor neuron disease. That combination seems to be a good fit. So I agree. We started it with Brian when you came here as somebody that had ALS. Brian is now somebody that has recovered from ALS, and we continue to use it for the same reason that we use it in our other athletes.
Is there just 200 grams of caffeine in here, or is there a lot more?
So the question is how much, but again, over time, how much is there? So what you do is you take your full amount and then you basically divide it, because it's sustained release. And you take into consideration the half-life and also the time release preparation. So really what you're doing is you're looking at total caffeine, but it's not as if you take it and get that total amount. Instead, you take it and then you divide that total across an average of 6 to 8 hours. So you're not actually getting a lot. Unlike pre-workouts that make you really jittery, Totally, right? Instead of caffeine going high and then coming back down, right? So high, it makes people feel jittery, but low, it's not really sufficient to vasodilate blood vessels and allow things to get into the muscle. So instead, you take a total amount, then you take a look at, so you raise it if a non-sustained release would come all the way up to the top, hit whatever the top is, and then ultimately plummet back to the bottom. Here, you get kind of to a middle point, a therapeutic level, and then you maintain it over a long period of time. So you're dividing that amount of caffeine over that length of time, and you're delivering, along with the caffeine, the sustained release, a combination of ingredients that are now being shuttled into the muscle.
Yeah, because a pre-workout out there is 300 to 400 grams you're getting at one time, where you just get the jitters and it's an awful feeling, especially when you crash.
I don't think muscles like it.
Not at all. Not at all.
All right, so the other thing that we paired, the question was, can we put a combination of amino acids? And so whether you're somebody that has motor neuron involvement, so again, muscle changes or atrophy secondary to nerve-related issues, neuromuscular, or whether you're somebody that just has a muscle alone related condition, or you are somebody that has neither and just wants to be healthy and build muscle and you're just athletic, the question is, can you get the right combination of aminos? And there's a lot of theories about branch chain or non-branch chain or how aminos go together. On my side, again, just kind of geeking out, what I'm looking for a formulation that has been used to protect, preserve, and grow muscle in individuals that have limited ability to move around. Right? When you find a formulation that can do that, so if you can take a group of people that are bedridden, but preserve muscle integrity by putting a combination of aminos on board, you can only imagine what that's going to do for somebody that is active and using muscle. And so the combination in Supreme Aminos is a combination that is known and has been used, again, to protect, preserve, and trigger muscle health or growth, even in individuals that have very, very limited ability to move. The reason you and I like these together, now you increase blood supply, but over an extended period of time, and you put other key nutrients, and in addition to that, you add the combination of aminos that muscles really love and thrive on.
Yeah, that combination. It really does work. I'm 60 plus and I can do 30 pull-ups. I can do 100 push-ups and without stopping. You know, I just bench 300 pounds. I can walk across the gym on my hands. I was on TV doing handstand push-ups not too long ago, and I attribute a lot of it to, you know, the eating clean and taking these products.
I would tell everybody that's watching, the way that this came about, this video right here, I did not call Brian to say, hey Brian, will you come on down and talk about supplements? Again, Brian and I met because you had ALS, and we started this combination. You called me, and this is probably about a year, even 2 years ago, so I'm the one that's been remiss to say, hey listen, this stuff is really effective. How do we get that message out to other people that have ALS and to athletes? And because I wasn't sure how to do that, and because I don't like a sales approach, I just kind of dragged my feet. And finally, you called me a couple weeks ago, and Brian said, look, this thing really works, and I'm just going to fly down because I want people to get the fact that I've been using this for years. And so if it's somebody that has ALS, they should know about this. And if it's somebody that's just an athlete, they should know about this. So I appreciate on your side, because on my own, I would not have. But I agree. This combination, and we'll talk about the last of those three products now, this combination for me, this is my gold standard. And prior to being involved with ALS, and I really started that around 2017, prior to that I was working with a lot of athletes. And this was my combination that I developed at that point and saw the most amount of success with. The last one to tell you guys about, it's a Bicarbonate Supreme, and so this is true in motor neuron disease, and it's true in athletes that are healthy individuals that are athletes. Acidosis, or building up acid in muscles, is common, especially in individuals that exercise, and commonly when muscles are in the process of atrophying. And so as long as you have an acid increase in muscles, you would likely expect to also have injury to muscles atrophy in muscles and slow recovery time. And so a trick that's been used for a long time is to alkalinize muscles, and what we find to be a safe and effective way is a bicarbonate. That is not a new concept. So athletes have been using bicarbonates to alkalinize muscles, keep them strong, keep them healthy, make sure that they can rebuild quickly. What I don't like is the fact that standard bicarbonates are sodium based, and so then you can have all kinds of blood pressure increases. And there's an amount of potassium that muscles like, and so this combination is sodium and, separate from that, potassium bicarbonates. So the ratio and that combination seems to be, well, first of all, effective enough to alkalinize and prevent like an acidotic state that muscles don't like, but also provide the potassium and prevent the amount of sodium that can lead to things like high blood pressure and any number of other things. So yeah, this is my favorite combination. I used to use it in athletes. It's the reason why, for me, the muscle atrophy for motor neuron felt approachable. And it's the reason I know that you've been using this stuff for a number of years. And I am glad that we're finally getting it out there.
It works. It definitely works for me. I'm going to continue taking it. I mean, it definitely works. I won't stop. The MitoBoost, the berry flavor is so good. They both taste good, but the berry flavor is really good. I sometimes take it twice a day. I'll take it in the morning, and then I'll take it at 3 o'clock, 3:30ish, again later in the day.
You have about a 6 to 8 hour window. And so for anybody that's exercising multiple times in the day, or again, for anybody that has a condition that's limiting the ability of muscles to stay healthy, I like it twice in the day. So for me, my typical preference is this combination twice in the day. But let's say instead it really is an athlete and they're only working out one time in the day, you may find that you just need one dose in the course of a day. My preference always starting 1 hour before workout, right? That way you get the benefit of the sustained release caffeine to kind of do its magic, increase the amount of blood supply to organs and throughout the vessels and to the muscles. And then you get the delivery of the amino acids. So by the time you start working out, or if you're not working out, but you're just looking to protect muscle, you have that influx of the amino acids, and you don't have to worry through contractile strength. So any athletes, right, using muscles and contracting them all the time, you're building up acid, right? You're changing the pH, you're lowering the pH. So being able to improve the pH and make sure it's more, again, alkalinized, you have that faster recovery, less soreness, just easier to exercise. Yeah.
It's great. It's great. I live by them.
All right. Thanks for doing this. Again, I'm glad for this education out there.
Do you want me to do one thing to show you how good it is?
Well, okay, so you get Brian's question is, do we want to see how effective it is? Yeah, heck yeah. Okay, show us what you got. Okay, do you want to preface it? Do you want to tell anybody what's going to go on next, or you just want to?
I'm just doing a push-up that I go around and do throughout the country with high school wrestlers, and 1 out of 100 can do it. So 1 out of 50, 1 out of 100 can do it.
Okay.
But I'll do it two-handed and do it one-handed.
We'd love to see it. And again, everybody remember, Brian's not just a wrestling coach and an athlete. He is a survivor who has recovered from ALS. So this is November 2024. When he was diagnosed in 2021, he was given 2 years to live. 3 years later, this is the person that you're looking at. All right, Brian, show us what you got.
What's this? If I can still do it.
All
Can you
right.
see?
We can see for sure.
All right, without your elbows, you give us a try at home. Not use your elbows. Elbows off and push up and go down. Which is
Oh my
very hard.
goodness. Oh
And
my,
then
that's, oh my
arm.
goodness.
And down. Slipping.
Brian, but that's so impressive. I've decided to not do the same, just, because, look, that's so incredibly impressive. It's so incredibly impressive. Anything else you want to put out there as a shout out?
Just thanks.
See you guys.
Hear my elbow crack.